Hey, guess what? You're at the Blazor Puzzle, episode 67.
Yes.
I'm Carl Franklin from AppVNext, and that's my friend Jeff Fritz from Microsoft. Hey, Jeff, what's new?
Hello, good to see you, Carl. It's been a aspirational week for me. I've been learning and doing things with .NET Aspire more and more recently, and I'm finding some interesting and fun things that we can do with .NET Aspire and Blazor, and having a real good time with this.
That's great. I always knew you were one of the first people I knew who jumped into Aspire at Microsoft or not at Microsoft. And so I'm looking forward to it. You think there's anything that we can do on the Blazor puzzle around Aspire?
Oh, we might have a puzzle or two we can tinker around with. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, Puzzle 67 is pretty short and sweet. However, it did pose a real problem for me in real life, and a colleague was right there with the answer. So roll the music.
All right.
All right, so you can see this is a .NET 9 Blazor web app with global server interactivity. And this is a simple HTML date input field bound to a local DateTime variable. And let me just show you what that looks like. It's just right here, right? Input, type equals date. App bind equals @MyDate, which is just DateTime now.
Makes sense. Okay.
All right, so check this out. I'm going to click on the month and start typing 02/21/2025, right?
Sure. Push it out a couple days.
And as soon as I hit O for 2, for 02, it turns into 01/01/0001.
Yeah.
And if I go to the calendar, it's even more ridiculous. Right? So
yeah,
I can keep typing, right? And it's fine. But what I really want is for the rest of the values to stay where they are.
sure.
I don't want to have to go through this whole process. And it turns out a customer of mine had the same reaction. And they're like, can you fix this?
I definitely see this leading to some potential data entry issues where you just wanted to change the day, push it out 2 days, and instead of having to open the little calendar user interface and click the next one over, you just want to type 21.
Yeah. For example, I just typed 02 for the day, and now the year is at 0001. And if somebody just says,
yeah,
right. So how can we fix this? And, well, I'm not even going to give any hints. I just want to let you think about that for a minute, and we will go to a break. And when we come back, I'll give you the answer. So, you can press pause if you want to figure it out yourself.
or
We'll be right
we'll
back.
run an advertisement for turtle wax or something fun here that you can watch.
Turtle wax. Now I need to make a turtle wax video. All right. We'll be right back.
All right.
So there's numerous ways that you can go about fixing this, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
You could do your own formatting if you had a string input. For example, if you wanted to go and make the mask and all of that stuff, there's a number of ways, but this is the easiest. Just change input to input date. And you also have to change the binding syntax to be bind-value with a capital V, but otherwise it's exactly the same. Let's watch. All right, so now I'm going to try to change it to 02/21. 02. Then it moved across to the date automatically to the day 2/1. And there we go.
The year's the same.
And the year's the same. Or, we can do 2023 or whatever we want to put in there. And the calendar works. All is good. Now, Jeff, you just gave me the URL to a Learn article that talks about some of these other input components. And let me just say, you might not have thought of InputDate because it's usually in the context of an edit form.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be. It's just a Blazor built-in component that does what the date does, but it's just, zhuzhed up a little bit.
And it also gives us that standard look and feel and interactions, importantly for us, when we want to use the APIs to interact with that input element. The different browsers behave differently, and this gives us that extra layer of abstraction so that you can be sure you get the same behavior in all the browsers. Or if it's running like you were showing on the server and we're sending data back and forth. These all come in the box. They're simple, but they're a good abstraction over some of those default HTML elements.
Yes. So input checkbox, input date of T, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Input file, which is for file uploads. Input number, input radio, radio group, select, text area. So all good stuff here. So that's it, Jeff. It's short and sweet, as I said, but it solved the problem. Shout out to Travis, who I work with at a customer site, for giving us the dope slap that we needed to to see. Of course, this is the solution. And I'm not saying third-party tools aren't appropriate, because they can solve many, many more problems. But this is a simple fix, and Bob's your uncle. So we'll see you next week, eh?
Alrighty, take care.
All right, bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out blazortrain.com and the .NETshow.com for more great content.